I promised some friends that I would get a better camera and lighting set up and do another short session on airbrushing. So the important part is that you're able to see the models here. If you can hear me, it's a bonus. But, oh wait, nope, you're not hearing me at all. Is it hearing? Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right. Where no works. Hey, Jess, how's the audio? Today I'm going to do a quick base coat of these four mechs, and I'm going to add a highlight layer underneath. So my base color for them is going to be Pro dark warm gray. But I'm going to use Vallejo model colored gloss white underneath, and hopefully that should bring up the color on the very top where I want it to kind of show like light floating up. Howdy, Noodles. All right. So I want this layer very thin. So I'm going basically 50-50 paint and thinner. I'm also going to add some of our trusty airbrush flow improver. Just a drop. All right, two maybe. And three drops of paint in there. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this without me spilling it, so I'm not even going to try. But very little paint in there. Then I'm going to give it a good stir. And I can see it off. Mm. Okay. This is a stainless steel paint stirrer from Tamiya. They're only a couple of bucks for a pair of them, and it's a non-reactive metal that even primer doesn't stick to all that well, so they're great for mixing your paints, especially inside of the cup. That looks that looks all right. And I'm just gonna backflow a little air into there to give whatever was lowest in the cup a little still extra stir. All right, you got air. Uh, Checking my air pressure. Way too high. Okay, so when I'm doing paint, I do about 32 psi. I'm gonna test it on here. Coming out not well mixed. A little too high a ratio of thinner paint, so we're gonna add one more drop of paint just to get it the right consistency. Stir the crap out of it. There we are. Stirred. Okay. Now I'm gonna line these up the way I picture them on the field when the battle's about to happen. I like telling a story with my team. So they're coming in to sun at their back to disguise their movements a little bit. So I'm going to set the brush up high and behind and just come across very gently. And that's it. We're going to add a little more. There. Okay. We're going to do a quick pump. Rinse out. Through. Take the residue out. Boom. Happy floor. We're good to go. Just roll them with the white. And we're going to set up the brush with the dark warm gray, which I need to get back down to my friendly local game store and buy more of. It turns out it happens to be one of my favorite colors for doing base because you can go both directions with the colors. You can get brighter, you can get darker, touch more. You can see how powerful that is. Thanks. If I run out of this, I have backups. I like London Gray from Vallejo and Stonewall Gray from Vallejo. Well, that's right. There we go. It's coming out right. So, one thing I did not do, because I'm going to be putting my hands on the models, what I should have done already, especially with these early layers, you want to keep them as free from oils as possible. I'm going to put these back on my lazy Susan. Of course, we're going to get the back out. All right. Three of these are in order for Aaron. And then the other, he didn't order, but he sent me extra mechs and said they're mine to do what I want with. So I'm thinking it's how I want and sending it back to him as a bonus because he has ordered a lot of mechs for me. And I really do appreciate the business. And this one will just be kind of fun. It's going to be this Legionnaire right here. And I'm going to ping it like a Roman Legionnaire because I'm a dork. Um, and you can't stop me. So I thought his head already kind of looked like a crest on a Roman helmet. All right. I have some friends coming over this evening, and I didn't want to necessarily subject them to the noise of the airbrush. It was kind of the last minute thing, so good I get the base coating done now and then just do the detail painting while they're here. Here we are. Still very nice. Oh, breaking rule number one. Tap it, but don't make a mess. little too much flow improvement, so it's taking a little longer than I'd like. It's dry. I'm just good. Now, I'll hold it up. I can see when I get further back into the light how I failed it. A lot of that's just from the angle. So that's why, again, the gloves, hit it from underneath. Stop right there. And low pressure means low paint flow. And generally speaking, you're going to keep it under control. And not easily overpaint it. See how little it's coming out? It takes a while to see it on the back of my glove. Right. And that base coat's done. Now, I'm going to show you guys what my next project is going to be after I finish these Battlemechs for Aaron. I am not taking a break to do something for myself. I was asked this week by my friend Jay if I could do a project for them. They got a new port game barge song, and he asked me to paint the whole thing. So I decided I'm starting with him because if that doesn't look like fun, I don't know what is. I have plans upon plans. But the first plan has to be figure out what the base color's going to be, and I have to figure that out. But I did get it right. All right. Now, you can see this puppy now. Clean. Trying out some new Q-tip alternatives rather than the cotton foam. Cotton been tearing off on the skin. So hoping that will help pull on life of the airbrush. I'm going to turn up the air pressure now. Now here. Moving like a champ. For dry, I'm going to move them over to the regular table. And I'm going to work on these Bowsette horns. Again, for Jay, Jay does a lot of cosplay. Very funny person. I'll just see if they have a Twitch stream. They do a lot of sketch comedy and uh, cosplay. All right. Vortex mixer. Well, that's the mixing. Dinner. And now time to paint. I think you're going to need some one white symbols. Another one of my favorite colors to use. That looks like a lovely consistency. Back low. That's not promising. I know what it follows. Okay. There we go. Battery fills the iron not mixed well enough, so I'm going to thin it out some more. What mech are you working on, Noodles? Also, do you have a house preference, or are you one of those planners? Not that I'm judging, mind you, but I'm judging a little. I'm a sucker for Davion myself. Ellen's, huh? I'm gonna say it, don't turn your back on them. I do like me some Purina. The first Mech force pack that I sold, I had pre-painted, and I still kind of regret doing it. Shoot, I can't remember which lance it was. It had Cyclops in it. Um, Either way, I kind of regret selling it because I had a lot of fun actually painting the Purina Dragon on various parts of it. Man, that was fun. Uh, uh, yep. Big old clog of meat in here. There we go. I can actually see through it. It's slowly flowing down. It's coming out better. There you go. Big difference. Whoa! Never pushed it too much. Trying to compensate. All right. One. Now, because I have no other way to get this to dry, that's the speaker wire. Ran it through. And just really quick hit where I touch with my fingers. Now I'm going to go hang this up where my cats can't get to it. Yeah, so if the children's the second miniature you've ever painted, what was the first? I'm kind of curious. Was it Battlemech or was it something else? Uh, looks how much just fun. Wait, one of the old metal like Raul Parta ones? Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Dennis almost did his belly back. Oh, okay. I think that one of the first ever painted Battlemechs I saw, I was in, I was a freshman in high school, and it was a hoplite that a buddy of mine had bought at um, the local nerd store, Alternate Worlds, and he painted it. I mean, I just thought it was cool to have the painted mech instead of our normal little cardboard standees when we were playing, and it was a little trip down memory lane that you just gave me. Thank you. And for the record, I did still let me play. I think I got a link to my Instagram with some of the previous ones I've painted. I should definitely check to see if I have those three mechs I did up there. Yeah. Okay. And then upside down. All right, the video is going to go dark for a second, but only because I am moving to my other painting table. In other words, directly behind me, but just have to make a quick adjustment. would love to see your work. All right, switch cameras. All right. Got a lot done on Trebuchet. Mostly he's just picking out the last final details. I also want to get a glaze on the windscreens. So he's his own thing. I don't remember which paint schemes each of those are supposed to be, but each of them, they're going to be split between these two schemes. I think tonight would be a good night. Finish up. Slide this over. There we are. Clean water. We've got, oh, there we are. Damp brush. Okay, so I know it's not official, but I have my own little I put on the weapons. I like it to look like the weapons are primed and ready to fire at any given moment. I give them a little sparkle. So literally, I use the sparkly paints from Trebuchet. So curacao, scarab, and red rum. I'll get used to this camera position, I swear. So I use red for small lasers, blue for green for medium lasers, blue for large lasers. Now, I don't know why I'm bothering with the blue first, because the Trebuchet didn't have any large lasers on it. It's got 3 medium lasers in this configuration that I've chosen. So bing, bing, and bing. So I'm going to stop with that. Really am. And I also wanted to get a glaze on. So that's, I can either go with the technical soulstone blue, which is going to be really thick and gloopy. So no thanks. I use that for other things. Oh, my children. I'm going to eat your soul. Uh, oh no, here it is. Bellyman Blue Glaze. Maximum violence upon my pains. We'll go ahead and do the glaze first because kind of yeah, my Cotman 00 here. These are great brushes to use for things like textured or really thick or glazed type paints because you're not going to affect the bristles. Um, they're synthetic. So add a little water on it, back of the hand. Get it on. You just dab. Doesn't need a whole lot because all this is doing is just going to be adding that glazed effect over the paint I've already put on. Now, the scarab. Is taking its sweet time getting mixed. You can see right down the middle here that it's very separated. And I don't know why it's so separated. I have a suspicion, but all right. And for this, we're going to need what palette? What enough? There we go. All right. Now, I use these almost like a glaze in that they're going to be with another color. So we're going to start with some Stone Glow. And I'm going to mix it in. Give it that little spark of life, as it were. Now we're going to very small spaces, so we're going to go for a very small brush. And just ink in there. And that's it. When that dries, it's going to be a little sparkly and just a little hint of color in there. Now, because I used a glaze and a metallic, I don't want to let them spread around at all. I also don't want to forget to wash my brush. Metallics are bare. Get out if you let them dry. So I'm going to leave it sitting on its back. Now, I made good progress on this Ostrock and this Wolverine on Monday. Added some color detail there. What I'm going to do next is smack the crap out of my hand apparently. I'm going to do the inlay on the missile racks and the autocannon, and again on his missile rack. And switching back to my weasel here. Okay. Onto the Ostrock. Fence on the back so that his missile rack. And sinks his what a play. Once these are dry, that's fixed up. Need more water. All right. We're going to do a little dry. There's the itty bitty. And go back to my preferred mix for glass, which is Pro Aqua Blue, Sky Blue, and Bold Titanium White. The other thing I do like to do for Mech glass is sometimes I want to give it a little more, I don't know, 1990s. Afterburner is a bit of a color shift metallic um, from Turbo Dark, and sometimes I just have to heat. Got so close up the Abaddon blind. take D3, and you can see I've got a little spot on my wet palette from where I did these the other night. Oh, uh-oh. That was not what we all have those days. Okay. Oh, that was slightly better. All right. And I'm going to do the same as well. But first, but this is the wrong brush. Well, that's still wet, and I added a little bit of retarder in there to keep it wet. Go ahead and push in the lighter blue. Again, don't be afraid to mess up a little bit, like I did around the edge there. I can just go back and paint over it. There. And at the bottom, work my way up. Start from the bottom, work my way up. I do whatever. I get away with whatever I can on that side because it's very obstructed by the SRM6. Now, paint's mostly out of my brush and it's mixed in, and I'm going to push it up and blend them together. And now we have the illusion of a glare on glass. Next. Now this one's a little messier because it only has two tiny windows. So I'll show you where they're supposed to be according to the model guide. And with visibility like that, those two tiny patches, who needs enemies? I'm just saying, your designers are trying to get you killed. You better have the best um, scanner package. So I'm going to just do a tiny bit in here. And again, I can cover that up. And go back over that and get a little more of the darker fill up top. And the darker down. There. Centurion, this one's going to be fun. Big old cockpit dome. Start with a line. Gradually line it out. All right. Now we got that. Touch of white. And we're going to go back to that whole idea of a very thin line. Now what I'm going to do to finish this one off, dry brush. Just gently blended the inks together. This is what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to go and give it an extra lining of the blue on the very outside. Establish that outer boundary a little better. I could go a shade darker, but I kind of like the look of that. This is another one where the designer was their enemy. Itty, itty, itty bitty viewports. Difference is, there are a lot of them. maybe leave viewports on the top because sometimes you've got to keep out the aerospace fighters. Sneaky fuckers. Oop, I didn't put him on the base. There's the base. Um, so, um, share them with me on Instagram, or I can get you a link in a minute. I'm just trying to do this while the um, paints are hot, as it were. If nothing else, I've always got my retro guy den at gmail.com. That's too much paint. Let's pull it off on the back of my hand. There we go. I go a little high on this one. Pulling off paint that I am putting on. There we go. I'm still learning the interface here, but I want to be able to just flash up on the screen, but haven't figured that out yet. I'm struggling with barely competent at Twitch right now. It is what it is. Okay, so blaze time. Back to this 00. You see how nicely that falls around. Just gravity's your friend there. It adds to um, that shine in the top center. Set him down. Not him yet. Me? This one's not too bad. Thank you. Something about veins, you can always paint over it too. But I need to let them dry. Right. So, yeah, that turned out nice. I like that. So Trebuchet, I need to do the base. Others done today. This is Hail Spawn, Merlin, Wolverine, Ostrock, Centurion, little javelins. Let's do that. Javelin, and then shoot, I can't remember which one this one is. But those I did not do any more with. Fortunately, I did get this one wet. But that's okay. We can work with that. I got a little snappy. Didn't need water. There. Okay. So I'm going to put away the paint for now and engage in one of my favorite hobbies that sounds dirtier than it is, and that is flopping. Okay. So, I have a specific request. I don't even want to just one for. He showed me a picture of a model someone else has painted, and said, I really like this. I'd like my trebuchet to look like this. So, I said, sure. I've got all the stuff. The only thing I don't have on me right now is a sheet of white paper. There it is. All right. Well, got some grass puffs. Right, we got the start of what we're doing. The next thing we need is one of my favorite effects teams. Sterling Battlemech. It's also Sterling Mud. So I'm doing this as a base of mud, and then I'm going to start gluing various bits on top, carefully putting them in place. See if I can pull up his specific mech request. Not sure if I can drop it in the chat or not, but I'm going to try. No. Well, that's unfortunate. Right. A couple different colors and textures of grass. On top of a muddy base. Now, this stuff is gross. I'll be honest. I use Citadel texture tool. See why? It's goopy. Honestly, I think this is my favorite part of doing mechs. Showing where they are, what they're doing. I mean, basing is just fun. Ugh. Oh, we got a dried out trunk there. As you can see, it will spill down over the edge. But that's fine. We'll just paint over that again. That's not a big deal. Switch to the narrow end to get it around this side of the foot. I do push it up against it a little so that it does bubble. Like, you know, this thing's 55 tons. Wait, Trebuchet, 50 tons, I think. It's gonna sink into the dirt a bit. Trying to be a little careful and not leave any particularly big tool marks, even though it's going to be almost completely covered. Huh? Sterling Mud versus Sterling Battlemire. Question is, do you want it chunky or smooth? It's a question of how much texture they put in it.
really, he's come with practice. That's all it is. I have done so very many this one that I know how to get it to do what I want it to do, and then oh, oh crap. Run. Grab my reserve freezers. So the biggest thing I can tell people about basing is don't worry about making mistakes and play. So I did more of a sand and gravel on these. These silly little things are in traffic. Have fun with it. This one, I'm not sure the camera's going to pick it up very well, but I did kind of a cracked earth with a little lava texture underneath. Just find what you're happy with or what you can live with. See, this one's mud with some of the grass poofs. Heck, I'll do some with just plain old static grass. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Here's the problem that I have missing mechs. Oh, child, you are not going to survive to 13, and your birthday is just in February. Yeah, I absolutely do that too. In fact, I will intentionally spread some off in some cases, especially with salt mechs. Like the mech that I just discovered is missing, thank you, Kyle, is an Atlas. Um, and I put the mud like most of the way up the feet. That's not that's D&D. Nah, I'll find it later. Actually, I shouldn't be doing this just yet because that needs to fully dry. Now, these texture paints, the the thicker you put them on, the longer it's going to take. If I had to hazard a guess, this is going to take at least 2 hours to dry. Probably more like 3. But the reason you have to let it fully dry is the next thing you put on is glue. And as you can see, I have glue from my two friendly local game stores. Shameless plug for two stores that make me happy, Games and Stuff and Game Haven. But if the paint's not fully set, the glue will unsettle it, and it's a chemical reaction you don't want to deal with. And why I almost just forced myself to deal with it, I don't know. Probably because I have no idea. I really don't. All right. Well, I think I'm probably at a really good stopping point for right now because I don't want to push myself into doing what I should and messing up what I've already done. Like I said, I'm very happy with how the happy little Trebuchet is. And actually, what I can do with him, grab my number two. He's my biggest honker. And go around the base. And I'm going to go on a bit thick to cover the brown. Like that. There we go. All right, final brush cleaning, and I'm gonna sign off for the evening. Thank you. And I will be back on painting again. Today's Saturday. Yeah. So I'll be back on at the very least Monday, and maybe even sometime tomorrow evening because I had an invader. Oh no, my cat. It, it. Um, and I'm feeling in the, you know, in the zone and enjoying painting. So it was good seeing you guys. Noodles, keep kicking butt on that Shogun, and I'm looking forward to seeing your painting. All right, have a good night.